Well, I guess I finally decided to make a new video for you guys. It's been about a month now. I've been contemplating different material to make, maybe longer form videos, different type of content, and I just hadn't really decided on what I really want to do. It'll still surround movies to some degree. Um, like to do a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff, and I'd really like to find somebody to talk to conspiracy theories, really, on the channel, kind of a more of a live stream kind of thing. But until I do that, I probably won't talk about them a whole lot. It's just the point of interest, JFK conspiracy, 9/11, things like that. Mostly political conspiracies. I don't like going into UFOs and stuff too much. I'd be interested in talking about it, but over the last 25 years, to me, not a lot's changed in that community. But I do have some cool pickups today for you guys. I won't go into that too much, but as you can see by the thumbnail, I do have a Hamilton book pickup here. You always know it by I call it the tombstone shaped box here. I don't know or it looks like kind of looks like a big piece of candy in a wrapper. I don't know how you would, explain this, but yeah, let's get into this. And I can't remember. I know one thing I've got in here. I can't remember everything, but it came pretty quickly. But so I've been waiting a couple days to make this video, and I was gonna make sure I open it on screen for you guys. So this should be fun. That I love their boxes. It's such a creative way to do a box, and it's good and heavy cardboard, so you don't usually have any damage to your products. So. Or movies or books or whatever you order from these guys, but this is Hamilton Books. I think I did say that before, but it wasn't a massive order, but I hadn't ordered from them in several months, and I thought, well, there was one thing I had been looking for, and they had it on there before, and I could have got it from another source, but for some reason I'd yet to buy that, and I decided to pick it up, and so let's see what I've got here. Empty box. There you go. This won't just be a Hamilton book haul. I'm going to show you some things I've been picking up for probably the last several weeks, really. And the thing I was talking about here was the thing that I could have picked up. I could have picked this up from Troma, but this is the Toxic Avengers collection. This is for Blu-ray, for Blu-ray collection. This does have the Toxic Avenger, Toxic Avenger 2, Toxic Avenger 3, and let's see here. I can't. It's hard to I apologize here. It's hard to read this last one here. Oh, excuse me. Citizen Toxie. There's one called Apocalypse Soon. This is I believe it's a documentary that included, but here's the Troma Toxic Avenger collection. Really cool. I've been wanting to pick that up for a while. I do have the Toxic Avenger, the green case that came out several years ago on Blu-ray. I do have that, but I wanted them all together. Troma's one of those companies that, I like their classic movies, kind of like Toxic, Toxic Avenger and Surf Ninjas, much that, and things like that. There was some really good stuff. I've got a couple of their newer movies that I've bought, and I appreciate low budget filmmaking, but sometimes it kind of goes beyond, and some of the stuff just isn't that great. It's just so poorly produced, but it's not even great content. But the next up here, this is a movie I just never did buy before, but I always wanted to own in my collection. But this is the Blu-ray of Rutger Hauer in Hobo with a Shotgun with slipcase. Really nice looking edition. I don't know why I never owned this for, but I picked it up now. So it looks pretty cool. The next one here, this is a movie that came out a while back from Arrow Academy. It's Arrow Video. and I didn't pick it up at the time, but this is Cinema Paradiso. This is like a pretty nice edition. I think they may have had some different special editions that came out that may have been a larger box. But this is a slipcover. Aero Academy. Happy to have this now. And this was cheap too. I think I only paid like $7-8. I don't think I might have paid $9 for this one, but um, I can't remember. But most of these are in between anywhere between $5 and $10, but most of them are like $6-7 for a Blu-ray. So some of this stuff is really awesome. The next movie up here is a James Earnest movie. You're familiar with Gunsmoke. This is Gun the Man Down. I have not seen this movie. I'm interested in seeing it. Um, what I was curious about, I don't think this is tied. I think this is actually just a James Earnest Western. This isn't tied to tied to Gunsmoke at all. It looks interesting, so it's just oddball stuff like that I like finding. So that's a really cool documentary. I'm just showing these in order, but this was just interesting. It was cheap. You've seen probably from my collection before that I do like collecting the Gumby. I remember watching Gumby as a kid, and I always liked it. It was one of those shows I watched before I went to school in the mornings. I don't know if you guys had a favorite show you watched in the mornings, but I always remember Gumby being on and watching that in the mornings. And it was just such a, you always have these feelings. You get these kind of emotions and things from different, at least I do, from things from the past, and you get these emotions that you can remember as a kid, watching different things when, before school or something. It just has that different kind of feel to it. But this is that's the Gumby movie. And this come in the special packaging. Kind of interesting. I think it was like $5 for it, but there's the Gumby movie on Blu-ray. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool little packaging. But I always enjoyed Gumby a lot. The next movie up, this is a Cinti Poitier movie, and Bobby Darin and Peter Falk as well. This is Pressure Point. I've not seen this movie. Pretty cool looking movie. Be checking that out here soon. That's the worst thing about it almost makes me kind of have to eat my own words when I buy a lot of movies like this, because I know I'm not going to be watching a whole lot of these immediately. And I just go through points of time where I get like really behind on movie watching and things. And this, for some reason here lately, I just haven't been watching a lot of movies. I probably watch maybe one a day, but not anything near the amount to kind of clear out some of my back stock. So it's been kind of when I've run across some of these movies, especially the older movies, I had to jump on them. The next up is called Roadie. Band Make It Rock, Roadies Make It Roll. This has Meatloaf in it. I apologize, I don't know the full cast here. Let's see. It's got Meatloaf. It's pretty much a Meatloaf vehicle. And then it's got some other rock and roll people in it, like Alice Cooper, Blondie, Roy Orbison, Hank Williams Jr., and it's Sleep at the Wheel. But, no, maybe it's a Sleep at the Wheel Roadie. Excuse me. I don't know if that was a band or not. I can't remember. But there's Roadie, Blu-ray. Interesting. I know Meatloaf just passed away. This is a while back. That's probably partially why I bought this, but at the same time, this movie just looked interesting. I like kind of either mockumentaries or movies about rock and roll, things like that. I always enjoy that kind of stuff. Well, that's it for my haul of Hamilton books. And I've got quite a few other things here I'm going to run through real quick, and I don't know where to start at. I think I'm going to start with this couple of these 4Ks here that I've got. I finally picked up the Dark Knight trilogy on 4K. I do have the Blu-ray set of this, but this was, some things I just want on 4K. And I have watched Batman Begins. That's the only one of the trilogy I've watched, and I would have to say that personally, I think the transfer does look pretty good on 4K. I enjoyed it. I haven't done a side by side comparison. I haven't done a side by side comparison yet to see which one looks better, but I thought it looked a little crisper, and I felt like the color timing was a little bit better. I don't know. It just felt the dark scenes felt a little bit better and didn't have kind of a bluish hue to them that maybe the Blu-ray did. It just it looked pretty good. But of course, I'm probably viewing it on a better TV now than I probably previous viewed the Dark Knight trilogy in the past. But this is the trilogy: Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight, excuse me, The Dark Knight Rises, excuse me, and pretty cool set. It's just that they're not steel books or anything like that. They're just regular. I've just kind of I can't say anything about not buying steel books because I have one coming up right here. I still buy them whenever I find an interesting one, and and the thing is for some reason, like I've had been preaching that, I've been buying a lot of just regular 4Ks because the price had kind of dipped on the normal sets, but here recently I've noticed like the prices kind of went back up to $27, $29 just for a regular 4K. So spending 34 on the steelbook, it kind of makes sense. So if I find a steel, when you can find the steel books, because people just order them out so quick anymore, I just don't have any interest in fighting for them because I just want the movie anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did find the Matrix Resurrections because I do have the Matrix Trilogy steelbook over here that came out in 4K, I believe maybe last year or the year before, and I have seen this in the theaters, and it's an all right movie. I think the first 2/3 of it, I never did a official review for it. I don't think for the channel, but the first 2/3 of the movie I kind of enjoy. I enjoy all the meta stuff in it. Where it's kind of the movie's aware of itself and it's almost mocking the old movies. I kind of like that aspect, which I like the first Matrix movie and the other two. I enjoy them, the trilogy for the most part. I know the second two movies aren't as great, but I like that. So I thought, well, I'll pick it up on Blu-ray. What the heck? Because I know they have that whole set right now with all four of them together, but I already have three in the steelbooks, and I just don't like pointless rebuying and stuff. Obviously, I just did with the Batman Begins, but I just didn't. Sometimes sometimes I have to. There's things I want to upgrade to. I think everybody does. I just don't want to upgrade everything because I think some of the Blu-ray transfers I got it's about as good as it's going to get. I mean, I know some things they've went back and adjusted the color timings and made it look a little bit better. You obviously have the less compression, so it's just how much you're willing to. Because that's a trap you fall in with every format. Any new format is like, how much do I want to replace, and I think they know that us collectors are out here and they're like going, we're going to put 4K out, now we'll put 8K out. I just don't want to. The problem with 4K is I don't know if they'll put start making a lot on 4K and then all of a sudden they start doing stuff in 8K, which I don't think is going to happen, just because I think the technology, what's going to drive 8K is the bandwidth on the internet to actually support it, because I don't think a new format in physical media is going to be, it's going to come to fruition. It's not going to be realized, just because I think physical media is starting to come to the end of the road. We'll move on here. And this is another movie I picked up at Best Buy when I was buying The Matrix and the Batman series there. I don't know much about this movie. This is a Martin Scorsese Presents movie. This is called, let's say it's written and directed by Paul Schrader. This is The Card Counter. I don't know a lot about it. It does have Oscar Isaacs in it, Tiffany Haddish, Ty Sheridan. I don't know. I don't know much about this movie, so I'll check it out. I just thought it looked interesting. For some reason, I like those card movies, those gambling movies, things like that, centered around Las Vegas. I don't know why. What else do we got here? I just got this in the mail this afternoon. This is a new Criterion that came out with James Stewart, Richard Attenborough, Peter Finch, Kruger, Ernest Borgnine. This is The Flight of the Phoenix. This came out this week. This is a new pickup. Have not seen this movie actually, and I'm a big James Stewart fan, so it's kind of weird that I haven't seen this movie, and it looks like it's going to be a World War II movie as well, so kind of a double bonus for me. Um, the difference between me and all the other people getting this, I'm actually going to watch it. The next up is a Shout Factory 4K. I don't know. I should have made. Somebody wanted me to make a video on this, and I end up not doing it. Maybe I'll still do a review on it to check out the 4K transfer. This is The Sword and the Sorcerer. I'm not sure if this is the first 4K that Shout's put out, but it's the first 4K that I own by Shout. So, is this Shout or technically Scream? I think it's technically a Scream Factory, and I got corrected the other night on our live stream, and it's Shout Factory. This just Scream's a subsidiary, and pretty cool. Pretty cool looking case. Slip cover, everything. It's still in the packaging. We'll have to check out this. Hopefully, it's a good transfer, and looking forward to watching it. The next up is just some. These are some Kino Lorbers. Well, this is a Kino Lorber for sure. This is called Double Door. It doesn't have really, an outstanding like cast. Not, well, at least not in the regards of like big celebrities and stuff like that. Evelyn Venable, Mary Morris, but this is Double Door. Just an interesting older movie I like to check out. If you ever want to know any more about these movies that I got so many, I just don't want to make the video like 2 hours long, sitting here and reading from them and everything. I just don't. Most of you don't have any interest. You just want to see what I got. The next movie here is a AGFA title. This is called She Mob, The Girl from Pussycat. No, okay, it's got She Mob and The Girl from Pussycat. I apologize. It's just a bonus movie here, but this is She Mob. Don't know a lot about this movie. The only reason that I bought this is because it came up, which I'm out of context right now because I haven't showed you my John Waters stuff that I've been picking up. I've been seeing, I think in the past I've seen all John Waters stuff, but I just never had owned them because a lot of the stuff I've literally been waiting to see if they release on Blu-ray, and some of the stuff they never did. Some they did and some they didn't. Like Multiple Maniacs and Polyester got released on Criterion, and now Pink Flamingos is coming to Criterion. But, it's just been a mixed up mess out there. And in a minute, I'll kind of explain She Mob. I kind of got out of order there. But She Mob was recommended to me. I don't know if John Waters has anything to do with She Mob. I think it's just a movie that may have inspired John Waters, or it's just kind of a John Waters top movie. But it got brought up, I think, in Amazon brought it up as just a suggestion, or how they do with their algorithm. The next movie is called What Happens in This Elevator Is Not for the Weak, and perhaps not even for the strong. Lady in a Cage. This is Olivia de Havilland. Warns you, do not see it alone. Lady in a Cage. Pretty interesting sounding movie. And this is a Scream. This is a Scream as well, so kind of loading up on my Scream Factories and my, Shout Factory stuff. The next movie here, this is another Blu-ray. This is a documentary here. Just making sure I hit everything on my list here, but this is What We Left Behind. This is looking back at Star Trek Deep Space Nine, one of the fan favorite Star Trek series. Really wonderful series if you've never seen it. But this is a documentary about that series, and Looking forward to watching it. I have not seen it. Documentaries, for the most part, as much as I love them, they do slip through my fingers a whole lot of the times, and I kind of miss watching them. There's just so many out there, and I always enjoy finding the new one that I haven't seen and watching it, and that looks like it should be interesting. But the last ones here, these are the DVDs, and like I was saying before, I did pick up. I think I picked up a couple more. I did pick up a couple of Blu-ray John Waters that I didn't put in the stack here. I apologize. I picked up Serial Mom, which I hadn't owned before, and Crybaby, which are both. I think that's when John Waters really kind of came into his own myself. Obviously, Pink Flamingos and stuff, like Pink Flamingos here. This is a DVD copy of this. I really, truly, I don't want to piss off anybody by saying this, but I really think after Divine passed, I think John Waters' movies got a little bit better. Not having to, because he was in like everything basically John Waters made. And they're friends. I understand it, and it's not got nothing to do with Divine being a cross-dresser and having that problem with that. I just think a lot of those movies are like kind of gross out movies to some degree. Polyester is definitely the best. I think the best movie with Divine in it. The other movies are just kind of a lot of sexual gross out stuff. It's not even like they're not even sexy, and I know they're not supposed to be. I understand. I can interpret movies just fine, but it's sometimes they're hard to watch actually. And comes from somebody that don't really mind. I'm pretty desensitized to stuff like that, and sometimes the stuff that he does in there is just some guy wagging it around his butthole in the movie, like in Pink Flamingos. Literally, you see it on screen. It's an NC-17 movie, so you see it. And, full frontal in this movie, but, nobody wants to see this guy's gaping butthole. I don't. I don't want to see a good-looking girl's gaping butthole on screen like that. So, sorry to get a little graphic for you out there, but it's in the movie. The next one is a John Waters movie. This is called Desperate Living. And a couple of DVDs. Hopefully one of these days they'll just release a entire collection of all this stuff. Because these DVDs have been released in collections before. I don't have the John Waters collection. But so we know that we can... they can put them together. There's not necessarily, well, I mean, at this point, there could be rights issues where they can't release them all together. Maybe Criterion's bought a couple here and there now, so it's all getting separated out. But, yeah, I'd like to see one big John Waters Blu-ray collection or 4K collection, whatever you want to do. But the last stuff here that I have, this is just kind of goofy stuff. This isn't not necessarily the greatest stuff, but this is a Jim Varney Earnest Wacky Adventures. So this has Earnest in the Army, Earnest Rides Again, and then it just has Earnest Greatest Hits 1 and 2, which I think these are just collections from, the Hayvern the Hayvern stuff, the commercials, things like that. But this is Earnest Wacky Adventures DVD. I don't know what made me pick this up. I think I ran across, I'd always forgot some of like the Earnest, these are kind of the bad Earnest movies, Earnest in the Army, Earnest Rides Again. And I just, I thought, well, I better pick these up while I can, because some of these kind of sets are the ones that go, these will go, and I just realized I forgot something here, but those are the kind of things that go out of print pretty quick. And I do have one more thing for you, and it was laying over here in another box that I had gotten from, I don't know who the hell this come from. I ordered it through Amazon, but it came through some subsidiary. But this is Romeo Is Bleeding. This is directed by Peter Medic. It's a Gary Oldham movie. This is what's considered a neo-noir, and thanks for Mike from Mike's Blu-rays and DVDs, Dag Films. Thanks for pointing this out. He had it on one of his videos, and this is where I picked this up from. This is Romeo Is Bleeding. I don't know if I ever told him I ordered this or not. I usually tell him every time I watch his videos, I order something, and that's usually the case. But this is a just a region B movie, so you had to have a region free player to play this. It looks pretty interesting. Like I say, it's like a neo noir movie, so it should be pretty fun to watch. And that's about it. I just apologize for taking so long to. I'm hitting my mic all over the place today. Sorry about that. And I apologize for taking so long to make a video. I don't know that my videos might become more sporadic just because at the first of the year we got hit by a new algorithm, I believe, in YouTube. And YouTube kind of, and everybody's been talking about it, at least everybody that really pays attention to the numbers. You can really tell, and you can really tell at the lower levels, like smaller, creators like myself, you can really see how the numbers have been affected. Basically, they've kind of flipped the algorithm. It used to be you probably got 70% of your views from non subscribers. So like a lot of your views would be coming from people that had never seen your channel before. So it would potentially get you new subscribers. So but they flipped that. Now it seems like you're getting about 30% from, or maybe even less from non-subscribers, and then on top of that, the subscribers you have, a lot of them won't even watch it anyway. So I believe most people say you only get about 10% of your subscribers that'll actually watch your content. Like even the guys that have 400,000 or 500,000 people, they usually average around 40,000, 50,000 views on their videos. So that's a pretty average point. So everybody's been kind of screwed over here lately with the algorithm. So it just makes you less compelled to make videos, especially at the lower level. I do it for fun, but I mean at the same time you want people to watch your videos. So that's about all I have for you guys today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to leave you guys with it today, and I'm going to talk to you later.